Good morning, Mama here. Doing my first cooking episode, so it's cooking with Mama. I'm actually currently right now waiting online to get the free food distribution for my son's school district. It's something they've been doing since COVID because the kids haven't been in school getting lunch, and we have a lot of kids below the poverty lines that their only food that they get is actually in school. So they've been doing this free food distribution because that population is so high in this area. I'm not within that particular kind of bracket, but my family does struggle financially, so every little bit helps. I mean, it's paid for with our tax dollars anyway, so it's definitely something. I don't want to use the word entitled. I hate that word so much. But we paid into the system. If this is a free program that my son's eligible for, then I'm going to take advantage of it. And if you have programs like this in your area, take advantage of it. We're in difficult times and don't feel guilty about it. But that aside, this is the very beginning. I'm probably going to have multiple clips going on. You're going to see me in like 5,000 different places. But this is my first stop on my shopping expedition, although it's not technically shopping. But I got to pick up ingredients. Today's recipe is one I actually know how to do, one of the few things I make very well. It's just become very tricky with my autoimmune disease because I don't have a sense of smell. And 80% of what you taste is with your nose. So I have to find interesting ways to figure out whether I'm seasoning something correctly, and or I have to constantly call in my parents and be like, hey, try this. So as a hot mess mom, I already got laundry started. Got the kid onto his computer so he can do his class today. And now I'm out here doing this. And then I got to go home, start my shepherd's pie, go to work, teach 2 dance classes, and then come back and finish my shepherd's pie, all before my best friend comes over for Pie Day. It is St. Patrick's Day. It's March 17th, but we couldn't get together and celebrate on Pie Day because she was celebrating St. Patrick's Day with her parents on Pie Day. So now we're celebrating Pie Day on St. Patrick's Day because my parents are going to celebrate St. Patrick's Day this coming weekend. So it's very confusing. We moved the days all around. My dad got very confused. He was expecting corned beef and cabbage. I'm like, no. Today's Pie Day. So I'll show you my process. But it's not exciting because I'm not that good at cook. My hubby says I'm doing really well learning, but we'll see how it goes. I'm currently out shopping. They had a sale on carrots, so I got 2. I now need, according to my list, cream, celery, corn, 2 pounds of beef. Oh, russet potatoes. Those are important. Just so you know, I'm at Price Chopper. Need potatoes. Yellow russet. But if I found that, yes it is. Sorry. News is filming in public crap. Celery. Now, because I'm lazy, I'm going to get pre-cut celery. Let's see, where is it? I think it's back this way. Regular celery. Oh, you know what? They also have celery and carrots in one container. I use up all the carrots. Celery and carrots. Wait. Let's see what else is on the list. Corn, 2 pounds of beef, and russet potatoes. I have to say with corn, my favorite thing to get ever is frozen corn. Let's get some beef. Traditionally, shepherd's pie is made with lamb, but I have a thing about eating baby lambs, unless it's absolutely cooked right. So we're gonna get some ground beef. I do wanna get the least amount of fat because there's too much oil in it. It's gonna leak out of the pie. And these are like 3.5 pounds. Yeah, let me get that. 3.5 pounds of beef. Could always just throw more beef and use bigger pie plates. I'll learn. In case you haven't noticed, this has taken me about 5 minutes so far. I'm a fast shopper. I come in with a plan. I stick to the plan. The few times I don't stick to the plan is if something really catches my eye. And if my hubby's with me, then it goes to hell. La 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 la. I need cream. Because that's the only way to get nice, good, smooth potatoes is cream and milk. La 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 la. Let's see. I usually like getting heavy cream. Let's see. Oh, $2.39 for a little one. Let's do that. Okay. Gotta check the list. Potatoes, cream, celery, carrots. Oh, I forgot corn. Want my frozen corn. I always love corn. And it's always like 1 cup of corn, so I put in 2 because I'm making 2 pies. But me and the BFF love corn, so I'm gonna get a giant bag of corn. And I always get Price Chopper brand because Green Giant doesn't seem to be that great anymore. Alright. I think that's it. Okay, so I'm in my kitchen. I put all the groceries I had to away. Knocking stuff over. Perfect. So the first part of my recipe is 1 medium onion, 3 medium carrots, but I got these pre-cut stalks, so I'm going to calculate approximate, and 3 stalks of celery, a cup of corn kernels, except I do like 2 cups, because I love corn, and 1 pie is supposed to have 2 pounds of beef, but I have 3.5 pounds, so I might make 1 big pie and 1 short pie. Haven't decided yet. Or I could actually fit in 2 big pies. We'll see how it goes. And then I'll show you how I do the topping, which is also a bad habit. But it's carrot, so it's good for you. So I'm going to chop, and then I'll show you the order I cook them in. Because carrots and celery are going to cook longer than onion. And because the corn is frozen, that gets dumped in, so it has to warm up. And then you actually have to cook the beef. This thing has no seasonings listed at all. So what I normally do is a beef bouillon, pepper, salt. No, not salt, because the beef bouillon's there. Pepper and garlic. Love garlic. And my BFF, who's coming over, half Italian, love garlic. It's our favorite. So here we go. I'll show you every step after I chop this up because that's not going to be pretty. I'm going to start crying because I cry with onions. It makes me sad. No, they burn my eyes. So being a hot mess mom means I take a lot of shortcuts. I was going to chop them, And then I remembered I have this, a tiny little food processor, which is perfect for doing my vegetables. I didn't cry much with the onions because I actually didn't open that yet. So I'm going to cry when it's open. And just so you guys can see, my family's attempting to be a little good for the environment and just throwing, instead of just throwing like our coffee grains and vegetable ends away, we've actually been putting them in this can in a plastic bag. And when we fill it up most of the way, we actually take it outside to a bucket. It's going to be our composting bucket. But the bucket is actually already full, so I have to transfer to like a garbage can, which is all good. Okay, so you're supposed to fry everything in a frying pan, but I don't because need a new light bulb. Because as my friends all know, literal hot mess mom, I make a ridiculous mess every time I cook. So I actually get this giant bucket. Not a bucket, oh my god. Giant soup pot. And this is actually going to be the first time I'm using extra virgin olive oil. I usually use canola oil, but I'm lazy. I don't want to get it. So, you're supposed to put like a tablespoon. I put just enough so that way when I wiggle it all around, I can coat the bottom. Because all you're doing is sauteing the vegetables and the meat. And you can always add more. You can't take back your grease. Right? See, I know some things about cooking, just not a lot. I'm going to turn it on to my high heat. And like I said, I'm doing my carrots and celery first. Hear that? They're already starting to sizzle. And my mother always says, never use metal on metal. So I actually have this giant wood spatula. Steam it. And you're supposed to cook these until they get nice and tender. And when I used to actually cube everything, it would take way longer, but when you actually throw it in the processor and it gets this tiny, it takes a little bit less time in order to get everything cooked. Especially in a steel pot, because this thing heats up right away. Unlike my beautiful cast iron skillets, they take a while to heat up, but they cook so nice, and they add such a nice flavor to everything. I love cooking on a skillet. Whee! I'll get those a little that. I'm gonna get my onions. Watch me end up sniffling and crying over here. Because I opened it before and it almost happened. No, don't make a mess. Sink. Come on, untwist. There we go. Onions. Ready? Here we go. And normally I would use a yellow onion. Can't help. I would use yellow onions. I don't usually use purple, but that's what my mom had. When you're being frugal, you don't just go out and buy something specific. You use what you got. Alright, I need a spatula to scoop all this out. Give me 1 second. So I dumped in... Ooh, focus. There we go. I dumped in my onions. Time for some corn. And like I said, I don't really measure. Whoops. Yeah, a little bit more. And these are frozen turnips. They're like, oh, you're supposed to thaw it first. Nah. Just get them in there, get them warmed up. They'll be fine. And the other downside to using a steel pot is that it burns off a lot of the oil very quickly if you don't have your meat in there right away. See that burning down there? My flame's probably also too high. Let me turn it down again. Just add a smidgen more oil. Just a smidge. Because I did get the low-fat beef. Alright, get a drink. about ready for my... You know what I love about this shepherd's pie? You know why I love it, Seamus? First off, it's delicious. And second of all, look how colorful it is. Look, you got yellow, green, orange. And I used a purple onion, so it's a little purpley. You love onions. 6-year-olds, fibbers. Seamus, not those cups, the other ones. You're not listening to Mommy.
I'm getting one for Brennan.
No, he can use a regular cup. I just throw it in chunks at a time.
I don't think he uses them. He uses Baba.
You see how high those vegetables got? That's why I don't use a skillet. I make a mess. It's very hard to do this with one hand.
We have to have regular cups.
Brandon, no fussing. Regular cups or no juice.
Regular cups or no juice?
Then no juice.
Don't
Don't forget, people, as a parent, if you make a threat, you have to follow through on the threat. Seamus is a pretty good negotiator, though. He can usually convince the kid to do what he needs to. Alright, so, because I have an autoimmune disease, I don't like touching raw meat, so I'm going to rinse my hands off. Do it fast enough. I usually get all the bacteria off. But, use antibacterial hand soap. Hot water. La 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 la. Yeah, I know, I need to do the dishes. One other thing that everybody yells at me about doing, or not doing rather, is that I don't clean up as I cook, which is not the best thing. I'd rather do all the mess one time, clean up all the one time, because I'm lazy. I'm so lazy. Yeah, you definitely can't cook 3 pounds of beef at once in one 10-inch skillet. I think I have a 12-inch skillet. Oh, it still, it's pretty big and deep. Anyhow. So you're going to brown the meat. You're going to fully cook the meat. It's like I said, it's a pretty simple recipe. So essentially the only thing you're doing you're fully cooking your meat, you're fully cooking your potatoes, so by the time you pop them in the oven, theoretically, it's already cooked, but now you want the flavors to mold together, and you want to get a nice crust on top of the potatoes. That's what baking's really for. Oh, look how colorful this is. I do love the colors on this recipe. So, this may take a bit to cook. But, just to show you the seasonings I use. La 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 la. What, my love?
National food is corn, beef, potatoes, carrots, and cabbage.
Yes. We're going to have that Saturday. Seamus is doing his schoolwork at home today. Garlic, granulated. If you want to add fresh, that'd probably be pretty baller. Black pepper. And then, what I will use from my mom, beef bouillon. Caldo con sabor. Yes. This stuff is really good. You can use it kind of liberal with this one I eat. But remember, too much, you'll end up with, like, high blood pressure. I think it ate up all my oil again. I'm going to add some more oil. So I'm going to get this stuff cooking. And we're going to see how well I flavor it, considering I have no smell. Although I haven't done too bad the last few times. Alright, so check in with you in a bit. So, now it's time to start making the topping. Looking for my peeler. It's not the peeler I use. Where's my peeler? Don't matter. I have a billion peelers. But, this is 5 pounds of potatoes. You're only supposed to use 5 medium-sized potatoes for the topping of the pie, and I'm like let me just make all the potatoes. I'll have leftover mashed potato because I'll eat that straight. So I'm going to peel them. I'm going to dice them into cubes, because I'm, not all cubes. Throw them into my pot of salty water. Add more water as needed, once I have them all in there. And then boil them for about 20 minutes until you can, start to mush them with a fork. And then you mush them, and you start adding all the other beautiful mashed potato ingredients, which I'll show you later. So Grandma's home. So I boiled my mashed potatoes, mushed them, added milk, cream, garlic, pepper, salt, butter, nutmeg, mixed it all together. I do it to taste and to texture. I didn't measure at all, which is weird for me because I usually measure everything. So now I'm going to take my meat and put it in my big old pie plate and put whatever's left over in my pie plate. And then what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to set it aside, go to work. When I get back, well, I'm also going to put the mashed potato on top of the meat. But when I get back is when I'm going to cook it, and you're going to see it beautifully at the end of the day. So here we go. Woo! Bacon at 350. I forgot how long it's been in there, but look how beautiful. It's nice and hot. And it's dripping on the bottom.
Okay, my darling.
Use a cookie sheet next time. Whee! Take those out in a second.